Hey, my name is Chris Wren. I'm going to talk a little bit about warhammer-mark-of-chaos, and specifically we're going to talk a little bit about sieging today. So what you're looking at here is a chaos fortress that I'm going to defend against an Empire invader. And what we're in right now is called the deployment phase. And this is something that you can do before battle in multiplayer or single player that allows you to kind of set up your troops ahead of time. And you can't just put them anywhere. You see these flag boundaries tell me where I can put my troops before the battle begins. And so I can't completely set them up. I can't get them exactly where I want, but I can get them kind of lined up, especially with sieging, pretty close to where I want. Like I want these guys up on the walls. I'm going to kind of arrange them so that they're really close to the towers they have to climb up in order to get on the walls. Units on the walls will actually be able to see farther. If you look outside my castle here, you can see everything's kind of dark on the horizon. And in RTS gaming, traditionally you've had this top-down view where a fog of war was literally like a black line. Well, when you go to 3D and you start looking across the horizon, we actually have to have a fog out there. And so that's what this darkness is. Actually, enemy units are out there, I can't see them, and by being able to put my units up on the walls, it will extend the fog of war so I can actually see farther. Ranged units will be able to shoot farther, and I'll have a pretty big tactical advantage defensively just by being on a rampart with these kind of crenellation thingies that essentially will add a defensive bonus to my units while they're on the wall. So the deployment phase is great for just setting up your units, getting ready for the battle, kind of planning, how's this battle going to go? When am I, in this case I've got my gate, who am I going to send out the front gates? Let's get our cavalry lined up, ready to go. Kind of rearrange them. Let's get them over here. And I think we're ready to battle, so I'm going to go ahead and hop into it. I got a couple champion units over here. In this case, I got, this is one of our characters from the main. This is an aspiring champion at Chaos, and if you play the single-player campaign, you'll see that he's actually a pretty significant character. And I got my Demon Prince of Coin. This is an evolved hero. Your champions come into play quite a bit in siege mode, but siege mode is really more about strategy. It's about how do I protect my castle and my strategic points and keep the enemy from capturing them, destroying them. And what we've set up for multiplayer is the ability for players to set up different objectives for their siege gaming. So in certain ones, and this one in particular, we've set this one up to be objective-based. So I've got these strategic points that actually sit outside of my castle, and there's several of them. And the idea is the enemy's trying to come in and capture them all. And my job is not only to defend my castle from being destroyed, but to actually keep all these points in control by my army. So I can't just sit inside my castle walls in this case. I'm actually going to have to go outside and make sure that these points are protected against what you're looking at here is a huge Empire army coming in with quite a few troops, quite a few siege weaponry. You can see my Hellfire cannons are already starting to fire on the enemy. That's what this target is. You can actually see where they're firing, and the color of this targeting reticle will tell you how long until they fire. So you can kind of plan your strategy around cannons with that. Cannons are actually something we added recently, is the ability for the towers to not only contain cannons, but you can actually control the cannons within those towers and decide who they're going to shoot and how they shoot. And I've got a tower inside here too that's doing pretty well. Having flying units, pretty big advantage on a siege map. Your flying units will actually just fly over the walls. You don't have to open the gates. You don't have to expose yourself. Flying units really, and as you can see, they're just kind of making their way over the walls. And let's hop over here and watch as they kind of rain hell upon these units outside. In this case, these are Chaos Furies. They're the main flying unit of the Chaos Army, and they don't do well against ranged units, but they're great against. In this case, we've got some laddering units that are coming up attacking my guys on the walls. Oh my God, there's a guy falling off the wall. That's new. We just added that. That's pretty cool. And we have the Chaos Furies kind of come in here and do some damage, help out my guys on the wall. And since siege battling is no fun if you're all inside, we're going to send a few of our guys outside. So the door acts as an object that you actually have control over. Enemy units will actually notice if your door is open and will start routing towards it should you leave your door wide open, so not a good idea in siege maps. And like I said, the enemy's already captured one point. I need to get out here and recapture this point. You can see enemy cannons actually have like a firing rate and mechanism that you can actually look at and see, oh, this guy's about to fire, this guy is going to fire. If you can interrupt them before they get to their full firing potential, you can actually stop them from firing. Whereas most artillery, that we've seen in RTS games, you don't really have that kind of functionality where you can get in there and actually manipulate. You can kind of close the distance before the weapon can arm itself, if you will, and it'll allow you to actually, nerf enemy artillery. So we wanted to add a little gameplay there. We thought that, just having artillery wasn't enough. There needs to be a game to it, some skill that can be involved in actually manipulating enemy artillery. And I've already got enemy champion. Look at all these enemy champions inside my castle. That's not good. So let's take the battle to them. I'm going to go ahead and start a duel with their warrior priest. And that guy's got a lot of skills, but not in dueling yet. So I'm going to use some of his skills in dueling. And let's go ahead and see what we can do to this guy. Duel's underway inside the castle keep. You can see that the cannons are still firing on my walls. Empire troops have actually taken this wall and are now shooting on me now within my own keep. I haven't done a very good job defending this castle. My hero is actually getting hurt pretty bad right now. But it looks like I'm going to win this warrior priest over. And let me use an axe of battle. There you go. It's a pretty good attack, melee attack. My demon prince is a really good melee fighter. And let's see if we can knock these empire guys out of my keep. Bloodletters to take out these huntsmen. Huntsmen are kind of skirmisher units. They can stealth. They didn't really need to in this case because there's a huge hole in my wall. We've got Empire Knightly Order walking into my camp. I'm gonna have to take them out. I'm gonna go use my champion to scare them off. And Bloodletters are kind of they're prone to frenzy, and they're prone to and they're really kind of low on armor. They don't really high damage but really low armor, so you want to get them out of harm's way. And that's kind of how siege maps work. In this case I didn't do a great job. I got a big hole in my wall. I got guys up on my wall shooting at me from within my own castle. I still got quite a few units I could utilize. This wall over here, as you can see, wasn't even touched because the enemy came in from the other side. The enemy's proceeding to kind of capture strategic points. They've only got one, but it looks like they're going for the jugular. Their cannons are intact. They can just sit here and shoot at my wall all day until I come out here and take them out. So I didn't do a very good job at all of trying to keep this battle under wraps. But this is kind of how siege battling works. It's great fun in multiplayer. You can do 1 versus 1, 2 versus 2, 3 versus 3. We have special buildings within the castles that you can actually use to level up your troops, to buy new troops. And so keeping all these things intact while you're defending your keep are important so that you can keep your army fresh and maintained. Buying new units, healing units that get damaged. So it's not just about keeping the walls intact, but it's about keeping strategic points, it's about keeping key buildings, and essentially, trying to reduce the enemy's ability to take down your walls as much as possible. So that's a nice primer on siege gaming and Warhammer-mark-of-chaos. A lot of fun in single player. During the campaign, you'll be able to fight in a lot of different keeps, and in multiplayer, it's just a blast. We found, people so far have just loved the siege gaming, and it's the most popular map online. The whole idea of being able to defend a keep or attack a keep is just a lot of fun. We've got the laddering, we've got siege engines, we've got battering rams. Look forward to Mark-of-Chaos this fall, and siege gaming is a big part of it. So if you like castles and you like fighting with big armies, I think Warhammer Mark-of-Chaos has got everything you need. We're going to talk about customization in the next segment, so stay tuned, and I'll talk to you then.